What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel, bringing you guys another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In today's video, I have another Conquering Lufenia episode for you guys, this time focusing on the upcoming Lufenia fight for the Guy character event against two Rage Gators. But before we talk about that, if you guys are brand new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, that way you guys are not missing out on future uploads. And if you guys enjoy what you see on this channel, be sure to hit that like button and share this video as it does help me out. As always, don't forget to check out the Tonberry Troops website, in particular their guides portion where you could navigate to the Lufenia research portion of their website. Here you're going to find comprehensive guides for each and every upcoming Lufenia fight, how to deal with the orb, what are some great characters to bring, and also which boss mechanics to look out for. Secondly, in terms of the footage that you're going to be seeing, the first footage for this particular fight comes directly from fellow DFFOO content creator VL. Again, kudos to VL for allowing me to use his footage for these fights. Be sure to check out the full video in the video description as well as the pinned comments. And then later down the video, there is going to be another footage that you guys are going to be seeing for this particular fight, and that one is going to be provided to me by my friend Will Peter Lau, who's also a very extremely skilled DFFOO player. And when we actually get to that, I'll explain the reasons why I am also showing his clear for this particular Lufenia event. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the Guy event Lufenia against the two Rage Gators. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and talk about this upcoming Lufenia fight for the Guy Lufenia event against the Rage Gator enemies. Now there's going to be two of them. A few things that you want to take note of is first, they're both weak to Earth. They are both highly resistant to ranged and magic type brave damage. So if you are going to be bringing those kind of brave damage, just be sure you have some kind of elemental enchant imperil to be able to allow them to deal as much damage as possible. They are also immune to the attack down debuff, and some of their abilities that you want to take note of is they use a lot of attacks that actually delay your party members. So keep in mind that if you are going to allow them to take their turns and they actually hit you, they actually have a chance of delaying you because some of their abilities do that. And then afterwards, they do have abilities that also have a guaranteed hit. So if you're going to be taking some kind of evasion for this, there are abilities that you just won't be able to avoid that damage. Now, their most threatening ability is that on certain HP thresholds, they're going to gain this red aura. Now, when this happens, they're going to reduce all party members' brave to 0, and then they're gonna heal themselves for their brave to like a really big amount. And while this aura is active, every single attack that they deliver when you allow them to take a turn is going to be dealing double AoE brave plus HP damage. Now, this is going to be very hard to survive. So even if you have characters with Last Stand, because it is 2 HP attacks, there's a really high chance that that character with Last Stand is still probably going to die. Now, if you do have characters that have some sort of HP damage mitigation, that is one way to deal with this. But just keep in mind that if you are going to eat the damage from the red aura, it's 2 HP attacks and it's pretty dangerous. Now, the aura won't go away until you actually allow the enemies to move for a few turns. So as far as the Lufenia orb, it appears at the 79% HP threshold starting off at a 10 count. And then it disappears at a 49% HP threshold, and then it reappears again at a 29% HP threshold at a 5 count. And the way that you increase the orb's counter is by dealing earth damage, and it increases it by +2. So if you're going to be approaching this fight bringing Earth characters, definitely you want to consider bringing either Gao if you guys already invested in him and having him built up, or if you don't have Gao and you plan on pulling for Guy, Guy's actually really good for this too. He can tank, he can reduce HP damage, he can heal you, and he also Earth Enchant, Earth Imperils. If you don't have access to either of those characters, or you have no plans on pulling for Guy, you could take Xande, because Xande does have Earth damage built into his kit, but just keep in mind, because he doesn't have Earth Enchant, he's going to be your only primary source of Earth damage. You can also opt to take Realm if you're going to be using Realm with the Brothers Summon. And then other characters that can do really well for this fight are Ramza, because he is going to be synergy, Gladio, because Gladio can take the damage and also has mitigation. Bosch is good for this too, because Bosch will be taking all of the HP damage that your party receives and redirecting it to himself. Furion is good here because Furion can keep your party topped off with their HP, and you could actually take advantage of his counterattacks or his traps if you do have his LD. Another character that you could use or consider is Porum. Porum can actually be pretty good for this too. And then if you're looking for like an enchant imperil that you want to take that can actually heal your party and also protect you from, like, you know, incoming damage with like that RNG paralysis, Desh can actually be fairly good for this too. And then obviously a Mid-Italian, because a Mid-Italian as a friend unit is really good to delete turns. Now, I'm going to turn your guys' attention now to the video that I told you guys I was going to show from my friend Will Peter Lau. Again, be sure to check out his video. I'm going to be leaving it in the video description and the pinned comments alongside VL's video. But Will Peter Lau has a very, very great example of what to do if you don't have access to any units that deal earth damage. So ideally, the way that you want to set this up, if you're going to be damage racing this particular fight and racing the orb, is you want to take Lightning. Lightning is going to want her LD and Burst for this. So if you don't have Lightning with LD and Burst, this strategy is not going to work. You're going to want to take somebody that provides some sort of HP damage up. So Kurasame in the footage that you are watching right now was taken for this. You could use Balthier, but remember Balthier is ranged. So if you're going to take Balthier, you might just want to consider taking him with Guy and going with the earth damage strategy. So you're going to take Lightning, Kurasame, and then you're going to be taking Ramza. And for Ramza, you at least just want to have his LD. The burst is not necessary, but if you have it, it helps with his damage and all that good stuff. And then for a friend unit, you want to take another Ramza friend with LD and burst. And the way that you're going to approach it if you don't have earth damage is you're going to focus fire one. You're going to focus fire 1 all the way down to 79% HP threshold. And once you do that, you're going to focus that same one until you get them down to 49% HP, because the orb is going to disappear for that one target. Then you're going to focus on the other target and get that target down at 49% HP threshold. So then now you're going to have both of them at 49% HP threshold. And during this entire time, you guys are going to be making sure that these guys never get their turn. So you're going to make sure that both bosses never take a turn, as long as you're managing your skills and all that good stuff properly. Since you are taking Ramza and Lightning, it should be fairly manageable to be able to do this. Now, when they're both at 49% HP threshold, you're going to both DPS them down fairly equally until both of them are either at the 29% HP threshold mark or close to that. When that happens, you're going to want to immediately hit Burst with Lightning. Now, before you do this, make sure you're already taking advantage of the friend unit Ramza's Burst effect, because that's definitely going to bring a huge advantage to this strategy. So then with Lightning going into her burst, you're going to burst down one of them. You're going to either be able to take them out or get them very, very close to being able to KO them. And then after the burst phase, you're going to immediately go into summon. You're going to focus fire the one that's still at the higher HP threshold at the 29% or a little bit lower than that. And then afterwards, once the burst phase has ended, and assuming that you took brothers, which you should, their orb count is going to be high enough for you to be able to finish them off and be able to complete this fight without necessarily taking an earth character. So that is one way you can actually approach this if you don't have Gao built, if you don't plan on pulling for Guy, if you don't have Realm built and you don't want to have to waste resources on, like, you know, using your tokens and all that good stuff, and if you don't have Zonde built. So again, kudos to Will Peter Lau for sharing this footage with me. So then that way you guys have another way to be able to tackle this if you guys don't plan on pulling for Guy or you don't have any of the earth units built. Alright guys, so hopefully this video helps you guys out in preparing for this upcoming Lufenia fight for the Guy character event in Global Opera Omnia. This is 40 the Broadway Saiyan. Thank you again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and mahal everyone.